There's a stranger at the wheel. I've done everything they told me to do. Why am I still here? You cannot install a seven-figure identity into a nervous system still running on survival. You don't rise from the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your frequency. The quantum leap isn't something you build, it's something you receive. You're not broken, and you're running a high-performance vision through a system that was never updated. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. If you already know what to do, why aren't you doing it? Not the surface answer, the real one. Here's what neuroscience says that you don't want to hear. 80% of your decisions are being made by a part of you that you've never met. And that's not a metaphor. That's from Nature Neuroscience 2019, which means the person reading your vision board every morning isn't the one actually running your life. There's a stranger at the wheel. And until you meet them, no book, no coach, no $25,000 mastermind will ever move the needle. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to introduce you to them and show you the 3 shifts that you finally need to put you back into the driver's seat. I'm Dr. Amirah Hall. I've been working with high-level VVIP clients, founders, executives, entrepreneurs, and even royalty. People who look unstoppable from the outside and wake up at 3 a.m. wondering why nothing they've built actually feels like it's theirs. I don't do motivation. I do the layer underneath, the one that decides whether any of it actually lands. David built a real business from nothing, the kind of story that Forbes writes about. And when he decided he was ready for the next level, he went all in. Top-tier mentors, retreats in Sedona, rooms that cost $25,000 just for a seat. He could teach every framework back, word for word. And every Monday morning, he sat at his desk feeling like a fraud, holding a very full notebook. And the first time we spoke, he said something I'll never forget. I've done everything they told me to do. Why am I still here? And I told him the truth. Because, David, your mind graduated, but your body never got the memo. And the stranger running your life never sat through a single one of those seminars. And here's what nobody in those rooms told him. You cannot install a seven-figure identity into a nervous system still running on survival. The hardware rejects it. And that's the ceiling group coaching never breaks through. They upgrade the software, but they never touch the operating system. So what's actually changing it? And I've got 3 shifts for you. The first shift is the one that nobody teaches because nobody can sell it in their course. You cannot lead what you cannot regulate. A Yale University study showed that under sustained stress, the gray matter in the prefrontal cortex, that part of you that makes bold, clear, expansive decisions, actually begins to shrink. You're not indecisive. You're not stuck. You're trying to make quantum level decisions when your brain is partly offline. And David didn't need another strategy. He had 12 of them already. He needed authority over his own internal state before any kind of strategy would land. The VVIP clients that I work with don't have a knowledge problem. They have a regulation problem. And you can read every book that's ever been written on leadership. If your system is in fight or flight, you make small, protective decisions from a body that thinks it's in danger. Authority isn't volume. It isn't hustle. It's the capacity to stay sovereign inside your own nervous system when the stakes go up. That's the first thing that we build. Everything else is downstream. The second shift is what I call frequency hygiene. Your nervous system is a receiver. It picks up every signal in your environment. And the news cycle in the background, your colleague who drains you, or the group chat that makes you feel like you've been left behind, or the phone at 11 o'clock at night, the food that crashes your chemistry 3 times before noon. A Harvard study tracking thousands of people over decades found emotional states spread through social networks like a virus. Your nervous system co-regulates with the people closest to you. If your inner circle is running anxiety and scarcity, your body will mirror that frequency, no matter what your vision board says. David had a frequency problem. 3 hours of content every day, podcasts, news, motivational videos. He thought he was sharpening himself. He was filling every quiet moment with someone else's frequency so he'd never have to sit with his own. And what you tolerate, you become. The people you stay around, the inputs you allow, the conversations you don't have, the boundaries you haven't drawn, All of it shapes the frequency your life is being built on. You don't rise from the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your frequency. The third shift is the one high achievers resist the most. Everything you want already exists. The question isn't whether you can chase it down. The question is whether your body feels safe enough to receive it. And most of my clients have spent decades in pursuit mode, striving, proving, producing. That state is useful for building your first version of your life. And it's completely incompatible with receiving the next one. Heart math research has documented the heart responding to future events seconds before they happen. Intuition isn't mystical, it's biological. And it only speaks to a body that has stopped running. David's turning point didn't happen in a boardroom. It happened on an ordinary weekend. For the first time in years, he did nothing useful. Walked into a bookstore with no list, cooked a slow meal, sat near the water, and the solution he had been grinding towards for 8 months, boom, arrived. Not from effort, from space. The quantum leap isn't something you build, it's something you receive. And you can only receive it when you stop performing long enough to just exist. Authority, frequency, receiving. That is the operating system underneath every VVIP client that I've ever worked with, who finally noticed their ceiling is not another strategy, not another mentor, not another $25,000 room. The layer underneath. Imagine waking up Monday and actually feeling the life behind the goals, making decisions from clarity instead of cortisol, walking into the room that you've been chasing with a body that's safe to finally receive it. That is what happens when the operating system gets upgraded and you finally sit in your own driver's seat. Here's the truth. You're going to do something after this video. You'll either close the video and 3 months from now, you'll be exactly where you are today with a fuller notebook, maybe a heavier ceiling, or you'll take 15 minutes out of your day to find out what's actually been running your life. The link is in the description for a free clarity call with me personally. It's not a pitch. It's 15 minutes with me to locate that exact place that your frequency's blocked. Meet the stranger who's been running your show and walk away with one shift that you can make this week. I take limited number of calls because I do them personally. And when they're gone, they're gone. So if you're a high performer who has done the work and still feels the ceiling, go ahead and book the call because you're not broken and you're running a high performance vision through a system that was never updated. So let's change that. And if this resonated, tell me in the comments which pillar hit the hardest: authority, frequency, or receiving. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.